Namaste and welcome to my channel. I am Anita Goa. In this video, I wanted to share with you different tools that I use for restorative yoga. Now, I have shared a lot of different restorative yoga practices here on this channel over the years. I just somehow missed sharing all of the different tools that I use for it. So I was looking through my content and I realized I gotta fill in that gap. So this is my attempt on doing exactly that. I hope that you will find it helpful. Let me know in the comment box below if you wish. Give it a thumbs up and feel free to support my channel by subscribing if you find the content helpful. I'll see you on the mat surrounded by all of my friends, all of my tools, my supportive cast. We all need that in life. Let's get started. Now, I'm going to begin with the bolsters because I think that having a bolster can make a huge difference in how you're able to soften and relax into the position. And I have 3 different kinds. You don't have to have all of these. I think that the most essential one is this one. This is a cylinder shape. The dimensions of each of them I'm going to share with you in the description box below. But this one is a longer bolster. It has a cylinder shape to it, and you can use it really for all of the different restorative yoga poses. It is really multi-purposeful. So if you just want to invest in one restorative tool, this would really be the one. I've had it for over 10 years, for a long time. The next one that I got not too long ago is this one. So this one is a little bit shorter than the cylinder shape. This one is a little bit more like a rectangle, and it's flatter and it's also much denser. The reason I got this one is because anytime that I place my pelvis or my sacrum on a block, like any block, my sacrum and my back hurts, and it never felt really any good. So I decided to get this one so that I could use it for that purpose. But it of course can be used for backward bends and placed behind the legs, for a forward bend and side bends, and so many different purposes as well. And I really love this one. So I would highly recommend this one as well. But if you just want to get one, definitely get the first cylinder shape one. Then the third one that I have, this one they advertise as a pranayama pillow. I don't know why that is. Maybe they used it for pranayama back in the day. I have no idea, but it's obviously much longer. It's thinner. I use it, between my legs in rotations or side bends, and even, as a pillow behind my head. So this one has also a lot of purposes, but not as many, of course, as the previous 2 ones have. Next, let's talk about blocks. Blocks are very inexpensive tools, and they are great for propping up the bolsters. So if you want incline or whichever position it is that you need the bolster to be in, it's great to use blocks for it. And of course, there are many different kinds of blocks. The first blocks that I ever got, and this one I've had for also over a decade, it is a little bit softer around the edges compared to this one. This one is quite hard around the edges, and you do have newer ones now that are a little bit more like dome shaped and even softer around the edges. And I do think that it makes a huge difference of how the edges are, because if you're going to maybe place them blocks behind your knees. You don't want the edges to be digging into your skin. It's not a good way of relaxing. So what you can do if you have blocks like this, which I did for a long time, I would either put a pillow on top of it or even put a rolled up blanket. And I did invest in these also. The yoga studio I used to work with, they actually were selling them quite inexpensive, so I grabbed 4 of them. And they're great to put on top of the harder blocks and, you know, place behind your knees, and that way your legs can really soften into it, and it's a lovely way of restoring. So I also use these to put it underneath my pelvis, which feels much softer and supportive than under one of these hard blocks. So the blocks are always great and very multi-purposeful and lightweight and quite inexpensive to invest in. Next, let's talk about blankets. So blankets are very important in restorative yoga, and some blankets I think are better than other blankets. What I always recommend is to at least have one blanket that has more of a tightly knit weave to it, like this one. I love this one, and I've had this one also for over a decade. See, they last for such a long time. Because of the weave and the way that this blanket is designed, it's easier to roll into maybe a cylinder shape if you wanted that, or, you know, wrap it around your legs, or so that you put it in whatever position it is that you want it to be in, and it's going to stay in that position. Even I like to keep it on the floor, and because of it's a little bit of a roughness to it, I won't be slipping and sliding all over the place. I've used it a lot also over my body, but I tend to find that it's a little bit rough to have it over my body, especially when, you know, the fabric goes up more towards your neck and chin. So that's why I invested in this type of blanket, which is a little bit more of a fleece-like type blanket. It's softer. You can also roll it into different shapes and use it for different purposes, but I wouldn't put this one on the floor because it is very slippery. So take a look at the blankets that maybe you have at home and check to see the texture of it and how it feels against your body, because it does make a huge difference in how we're able to soften and relax and nurture ourselves, whether the fabric feels comfortable or it feels rough. Once you become aware of it, it really pays to choose the tools that really support you in the moment. Now, last but not least, a chair can also come in really handy. This one is a Lyengar chair. The great thing with this chair is that it will not slip and slide all over the place because it has grips to it on the legs. It has more of a roundedness and softer edge on the seat, and then it also has like a little handle that you can hold on to. So, and it has some space underneath where you can slide your legs. I really love this chair. It took me a long time actually to buy one, but once I bought one, I'm really glad that I did, and I know that this one is probably also going to last me for a lifetime. But you can get something similar I've seen at IKEA, and maybe you even have a chair at home that you could use. So that is basically it. I do have like eye pillows that can also come in handy. I have another little pillow that a client of mine made years and years and years ago that I like to use behind my head just as a pillow in general. So yeah, that is basically it. Those are the tools that I use. I hope that you found this helpful in some way. Please let me know in the comment box below. There is no end to how much tools, of course, you can integrate, but I think it's important just to keep it simple and find those tools that will help you the most, and make sure that you can have it, you know, easily accessible to you, so that you can just pull it into your practice whenever it is that you need it. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Take good care. Mwah.